All right, buckle up everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into the worlds of hypercars.
Oh, yeah.
And not just any hypercar, we're talking about the Pagani Utopia, set to drop in 2025.
This is gonna be good.
We've got this amazing article here just overflowing with details,
Yeah.
and we're going to break it all down. What makes this car so special?
Right.
I mean, it's not just about crazy performance and
Oh,
speed.
no.
It's about a whole philosophy,
Yeah.
art meeting engineering.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you, you're going to want to hear all about this. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. What gets me is Pagani's not just building a car here. It's like they're crafting a whole experience.
Oh, for
A
sure.
statement piece,
Yeah.
Something that goes way beyond just getting from A to B.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the exterior. The article talks about this crazy mix of smooth curves and aggressive lines, almost predatory. But I'm guessing there's a lot more to it than just
Oh,
looks.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That teardrop shape you mentioned, it's all about aerodynamics. We're talking speeds over 200 miles per hour. So reducing drag and maximizing downforce, those are crucial at those speeds for stability and control.
So it's not just about looking cool. It's about keeping this thing glued to the road
Yeah.
at insane speeds.
Exactly.
But wait a minute, wouldn't a shape that's all optimized for aerodynamics, wouldn't that kind of mess up the visibility for the driver?
Okay, yeah.
I'm picturing like tiny little windows here,
Yeah,
like on a fighter jet.
that's a good point. You're right, the teardrop shape does affect the rear visibility a little bit, but Pagani's thought of that.
Okay.
They've countered that with a curved windscreen,
Tart.
and they've strategically placed the mirrors
I see.
to make sure the driver still has a clear view of everything around them.
That's clever.
Ah.
Okay, back to the exterior. The article mentions these movable flaps on the rear. What's the deal with those?
Oh, those? They're constantly adjusting
Ah.
based on the driving conditions to optimize stability and control.
Oh, wow.
It's like the car is constantly adapting to the road and what the driver's doing, providing the best grip possible.
That's wild.
Mm.
It's like the car has a mind of its own.
Right.
And all of this is built on a foundation of some pretty next-level materials. The article mentions carbotitanium HP62G2 and carbotriax HP62. What are those exactly?
Yeah, those are some pretty wild materials. They're advanced composites, incredibly strong, but unbelievably lightweight.
I see.
Like carbotitanium, for example,
Yeah.
combines the strength of titanium with the lightness of carbon fiber.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing what they can do with materials these days.
So it's not just about brute strength. It's about hitting that sweet spot between strength and weight,
Exactly.
which would explain how they got the weight so low. For a car packing this much power, the article says it weighs in at just 2,822 pounds. That's amazing.
It is.
I mean, that's lighter than some family sedans.
That's right. And that low weight is a key factor in getting that insane performance out of the Utopia. Better acceleration, handling, just overall agility.
And let's not gloss over those visual details. The article mentioned those. Those sleek LED headlights, the unique taillights that kind of give a nod to older Pagani models,
Yeah.
and then the customization options for the paint and carbon fiber accents.
Oh, yeah, it all ties back into that philosophy. Art meeting engineering. I mean, every single detail,
Right.
from the curves of the body to the choice of materials, it's all meticulously chosen to make this car both a visual stunner and a technological marvel.
All right. Enough teasing already. The article describes the interior as this amazing blend of luxury and functionality. Let's step inside. What stood out to you about the cabin?
You know what really impressed me? The carbon tub structure.
Oh, yeah.
It's a three-piece design. They did that to maximize rigidity and make sure the people inside fit perfectly.
So they're not just slapping some fancy materials onto a standard frame. They're engineering the whole structure of the car to be strong and to be comfortable.
Exactly. And that attention to detail, it's everywhere you look inside. High-quality leather, aluminum, carbon fiber all over the place.
Yeah.
And the seats, they're ergonomically designed
Obviously.
to keep you comfortable and in control even during high-speed maneuvers.
I can just imagine myself sinking into those seats,
Yeah.
gripping that steering wheel, machined from solid aluminum.
Oh, yeah, that steering wheel, a work of art in itself.
What a feeling that must be.
But don't forget, these seats aren't just about luxury. They're designed for performance, too, giving you the support and control you need to handle all that power that Utopia has.
And with that curved windscreen the article talked about,
Yeah.
I bet the visibility is amazing.
Oh, it is.
Although,
Yeah.
at the speeds this thing is capable of, I'm thinking the scenery is going to be a bit of a blur.
Yeah, probably a little bit.
But the dashboard really caught my eye. Minimalist design,
Yeah, it is.
analog gauges mixed with digital displays. Sounds like the perfect balance of classic and modern.
It is. You see that design philosophy throughout the car. They're not just throwing technology in there for the sake of it.
Right.
They're integrating it in a way that makes the driving experience better
Absolutely.
without overwhelming your senses.
Right. Speaking of technology, the article mentioned the infotainment system.
Yeah,
Sounds like they've hit a good balance there, offering connectivity without making it too complicated.
exactly. They're keeping the focus on the pure thrill of driving.
Right.
They want to avoid distractions, keep the driver connected to the car and the road.
Okay. Let's get to the heart of the beast.
Right?
That engine. The article says it's a 6.0-liter V12 twin turbocharged monster,
Oh, yeah.
864 horsepower.
Yeah. And 811 pound-feet of torque.
Wow.
It's enough to launch the Utopia from 0 to 62 in a mind-blowing 2.8 seconds.
That's just insane.
Mm.
And they paired this beast of an engine with a 7-speed manual gearbox. That's a bold choice these days when so many hypercars are going automatic.
It is a bold choice.
Yeah.
But it shows how committed they are to creating a truly immersive driving experience.
Right.
A manual gearbox, it demands more from the driver,
Yeah.
creates this visceral connection between the car and the person behind the wheel.
It's like they're saying, hey, we trust you to handle this power, to really become one with the machine.
Yeah, exactly. They could have easily gone with an automatic, but that just wouldn't be true to the spirit of the Utopia. This car is all about the joy of driving, the art of control, mastering a machine that demands respect.
It sounds like an incredible experience. But before we get completely carried away by all this power and performance, let's zoom out a bit. What does a car like the Utopia represent in the world of hypercars?
What I find really interesting is how the Utopia might signal a shift in the whole hypercar landscape. It's
Yeah.
not just about pushing the limits of performance anymore.
Yeah.
It's about creating a holistic experience
Wow.
that seamlessly blends art, engineering, and raw emotion.
So it's not just a car, it's a statement,
It is?
a philosophy, a work of art that just happens to be able to hit crazy speeds.
Yeah, you got it.
That's what makes the Utopia so exciting. It's a glimpse into the future of car design,
It is.
where performance and artistry aren't at odds.
No.
They're two sides of the same coin.
Exactly. It sounds like they're raising the bar for everyone else.
Yeah.
What do you think? What impact will the Utopia have on other hypercar makers?
Well, it's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but I think it's safe to say other manufacturers are definitely paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
This combination of innovative design, cutting-edge tech, and a focus on the driving experience,
Right.
that's something they're going to have to address in their own creations.
Yeah. Competition drives innovation.
For sure.
And that's good for everyone, especially the people buying these cars.
Right. We'll probably see other hypercar makers pushing their own boundaries in response to the Utopia.
I think so.
I'm already excited to see what they come up with. But for now, let's dig a little deeper into the history and the heritage behind the Pagani Utopia.
Okay.
What can you tell us about the man behind the machine?
Horacio Pagani. Oh, Horacio Pagani is a true visionary. A man who's dedicated his life to chasing automotive perfection.
Wow.
He started out working for Lamborghini,
Yeah, wow.
but he always dreamed of building his own cars.
I see.
And that dream, that led to the creation of Pagani Automobili
When was that?
back in 1992. They've been creating some of the most incredible cars in the world ever since.
And it sounds like each of those cars has been infused with Pagani's unique philosophy.
Yeah,
It's like he doesn't see any separation between art and engineering.
right.
They're two sides of the same coin for him.
Exactly. And that's what makes his cars so special. They're not just machines.
Right.
They're expressions of his passion, his vision, his soul.
Wow.
You can really feel that passion when you look at a Pagani. It's more than just a car, it's a work of art.
It sounds like he's redefining what a hypercar can be. But before we get too philosophical, let's bring it back to the Utopia. We've talked a lot about the car, but what about the actual experience? What does it actually feel like to drive a Pagani Utopia?
Oh man, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't had the pleasure myself.
Oh, no.
But I think based on everything we know,
Yeah.
we can paint a pretty vivid picture.
Okay, so let's imagine for a second. We're on this beautiful winding road. The sun is shining. We've got the keys to a Pagani Utopia. What happens next?
All right, so first of all, you're greeted by that incredible design. I mean, remember,
Yeah.
this car's as much a work of art as it is a machine.
Right.
So just looking at it is an experience in itself.
I can picture myself running my hand along those smooth curves, tracing the lines of that teardrop shape.
Then you slide into the driver's seat.
Oh, yeah.
You're surrounded by luxurious leather, carbon fiber, all those meticulously crafted details.
Amazing.
You grip the steering wheel, machined from solid aluminum,
Wow.
and you feel the weight of it in your hands.
It's like holding a piece of automotive history.
And then you press the start button, and that V12 engine roars to life.
Oh, man.
It's not just a sound, it's a feeling that resonates through your entire body.
I bet it sends shivers down your spine.
The power of that engine, you can feel it.
Yeah.
And then you engage that 7-speed manual gearbox, release the clutch,
Yeah.
and feel the surge of acceleration as the Utopia takes off.
Wow.
The world outside blurs as you navigate those twists and turns,
Yeah.
the car responding effortlessly to your every command.
The G-forces pinning me to the seat,
Yeah.
the wind screaming past my ears. It's exhilarating.
And it's not just about speed, it's about control, precision, that feeling of being connected to the machine in a way that few other cars can match.
Right.
You're not just driving the Utopia, you're dancing with it.
I love that.
And as you push the car harder, you discover this level of grip and stability that seems to defy physics.
Wow.
Those movable flaps on the rear are constantly adjusting, optimizing the aerodynamics to keep you glued to the road.
And all the while, you're surrounded by the sound of that incredible engine.
Yeah.
A symphony of mechanical precision and raw power.
It's something else.
What an experience. But let's shift gears for a minute
Right.
and talk about the legacy of a car like the Pagani Utopia.
Okay.
How will it be remembered in the years to come?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think the Utopia will be remembered as a turning point in the history of hypercars.
Wow.
It pushes the boundaries of performance and design, but it also stays true to those core values.
Yeah?
Automotive craftsmanship and that passion for driving.
It's a car that inspires us to dream bigger,
It is.
to strive for excellence and never lose sight of the joy of driving.
And maybe most importantly, it reminds us that even in a world that's increasingly dominated by technology, there's still a place for human artistry and ingenuity.
Beautifully said.
Thank you. You know, before we move on, there's something I wanted to circle back to. We touched on it briefly earlier. The Utopia's connection to history, I think it adds another layer of meaning to this car.
You mean like those little nods to older Pagani models in the taillights?
That's part of it. But it goes deeper than that. The Utopia, it's actually named after Thomas More's book Utopia. You know, the one that imagined this ideal society. And in a way, this car is kind of like Pagani's vision of an ideal driving experience.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not just a car. It's a statement about a whole philosophy of driving.
Yeah, exactly. And that philosophy seems to be rooted in appreciating the history and heritage of car design. You can see it in the manual gearbox, you know, harkening back to a time when driving was more about connection than automation.
So it's not about rejecting technology altogether. It's about choosing which technologies actually make the driving experience better.
Exactly. Speaking of technology, the article mentioned the Utopia's suspension system with those 8 forged aluminum triangles.
Yeah, those triangles are designed for both strength and lightness, meaning incredible agility and road holding. And then on top of that, you've got the electronic differential and the dynamic control systems all working together to give you precise handling without sacrificing comfort.
It really is a remarkable balancing act.
Yeah.
Creating a car that's both powerful and refined. That's where those lightweight materials really shine, giving you that agility even with that massive engine.
It all comes together so well.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We've been kind of focused on all the technical stuff.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears a bit. Talk about the emotional side of things.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the emotional appeal of a car like the Pagani Utopia?
It's about freedom,
Okay.
power,
Yeah?
being in complete control of a machine that pushes the limits of what's possible.
It's like they're capturing that human desire
Yes.
to explore, to
Yeah.
push boundaries, to experience something truly extraordinary.
Exactly. And that's why I think the Utopia will have a lasting impact, not just on the car industry, but on our imagination as a whole.
Yeah, it's a reminder that we're capable of creating things that are both beautiful and functional,
Yes.
artistic and technological.
Absolutely.
And that's a message that really resonates with me, especially in a world that can sometimes feel dominated by the purely practical.
I agree. Well said.
So let's jump back into some of the specifics of the Utopia. The article mentioned the infotainment system. Sounds like they managed to strike a balance there
Yeah.
between offering modern features and keeping the focus on the driving experience.
They did a great job with that. The infotainment system's got all the connectivity and convenience features you'd expect,
Right.
but it's integrated in a way that doesn't distract the driver.
Right.
It's like they're saying, hey, we're giving you the tools, but the real experience is about connecting with the machine itself.
It's subtle but important. It reinforces that the Utopia is a driver's car, first and foremost.
Yes.
The technology is there to enhance the experience, not to define it.
Exactly. And that same philosophy applies to the manual gearbox, too. It's a choice,
Yeah.
a deliberate choice to put the driver in control,
Yeah.
to engage them in the act of driving in a way that an automat just can't replicate.
It's a nod to the history of sports cars,
Yeah,
while at the same time pushing the boundaries of performance and technology.
that's right.
It's a fascinating mix. Speaking of history, we haven't talked much about Pagani, the company.
Yeah.
What sets them apart from other hypercar manufacturers?
You know, Pagani is known for their incredible attention to detail
Okay.
and their unwavering commitment to craftsmanship. Every car they make is essentially a hand-built work of art. They use the best materials. Every component is crafted with such precision and care.
It sounds like they're not just building cars, they're creating heirlooms,
Yes.
objects of desire
Yes.
that people will treasure for generations.
That's a perfect way to put it. Pagani cars are more than just machines.
Yeah.
They're expressions of passion, artistry, a deep love for the automobile.
I'm starting to understand why there's so much buzz around the Utopia.
Yeah.
It's not just a car. It's a symbol of everything Pagani stands for.
And I think that's what will make it truly special. It's a car that embodies a philosophy, a
Yeah.
way of thinking about car design and the driving experience.
Okay, so we've covered the design, the tech, the history, the philosophy behind the Pagani Utopia. But there's still this one question lingering in my mind.
What's that?
What does it actually feel like to drive this thing?
Ah, the million-dollar question.
I know, right?
Unfortunately, like we said before, neither of us has had the chance to get behind the wheel yet.
Oh, the tragedy.
Yeah.
But hey, we can still imagine it.
Well, absolutely. Let's close our eyes for a minute and picture ourselves on that winding road.
Okay.
Sun is shining.
Yeah.
Keys to the Utopia in our hands.
Okay, on there. What's next?
You walk up to the car and you're just struck by its presence.
Yeah.
It's not just beautiful, it's powerful, almost intimidating. You run your hand along those smooth curves. You can feel the coolness of the carbo-titanium.
I can almost feel the wind rushing past me as I picture getting behind the wheel.
You slide into the driver's seat
Ah, yeah.
and you're surrounded by this cocoon of luxury.
Nice.
That smell of fine leather fills the air, the carbon fiber accents gleaming in the sunlight. You grip the steering wheel, and it feels like a precision instrument. Perfectly weighted, balanced.
I can hear the engine roar to life. A symphony of power and precision.
And then you shift into first gear, release the clutch, and you feel that surge of acceleration as the Utopia takes off. The world outside blurs as you're flying through those twists and turns.
Yeah.
The car responding to your every command.
Those G-forces pinning me to the seat.
Yeah.
The wind screaming past my ears.
It's exhilarating.
It is.
It's not just about speed. It's about control, precision, feeling this connection to the machine that few other cars can match. You're not just driving the Utopia.
Yeah.
You're dancing with it.
It sounds like an experience that goes way beyond just driving.
It does.
It's a sensory overload.
It is.
A rush of adrenaline, a moment of pure joy and exhilaration.
And it's an experience that stays with you long after you've parked the car and stepped back into reality.
It really makes you wish you could experience it firsthand.
Doesn't it?
It does.
But that's the beauty of a car like the Utopia.
Yeah.
It sparks the imagination.
Right.
It fuels our dreams.
Yeah.
It reminds us that there's still things in this world that can truly amaze and inspire us.
Well said.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to our deep dive into the Pagani Utopia.
The Utopia.
We've talked about the design, the tech, the history, the whole philosophy behind it.
Right.
But there's this one more angle I kind of want to explore.
Okay.
The legacy of a car like this.
Yeah.
How will the Utopia be remembered in the world of hypercars?
That's a good question. I think the Utopia could be seen as a real turning point.
Okay.
It's pushing the boundaries of performance and design,
Right.
but it's not just about the numbers and specs.
Right.
It's about the experience, the emotion, the artistry.
So it's not just trying to be the fastest or the most powerful. It's
No,
trying to redefine what a hypercar can even be.
exactly. It's combining cutting-edge tech with this deep respect for automotive heritage.
I see.
You see it in the manual gearbox, the analog gauges,
Right.
even the name Utopia. It brings to mind this vision of a perfect world.
It's like they're saying, hey, we can have it all. The power, the beauty, the connection, the soul.
Yeah, I think that's a powerful message,
It is.
especially in a world that can feel so practical,
Yeah.
so technology-driven.
Right.
The Utopia reminds us there's still room for passion, for artistry,
Hmm.
for the pursuit of perfection.
It's inspiring. It makes me wonder how this car might influence future designs.
Yeah.
Do you think other car makers will try to capture this same spirit? This blend of art and engineering?
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The Utopia is setting a new standard, not just for performance,
Right.
but for the whole experience.
Yeah.
Other manufacturers are going to have to pay attention
For sure.
and adapt if they want to keep up.
It's exciting to think about what the future holds for hypercars. But for now, let's bring it back to the Utopia. We've talked a lot about the car itself,
Mm-hmm.
but what about the people who will actually own it and drive it? What kind of person do you picture behind the wheel of a Pagani Utopia?
I think it's someone who appreciates the finer things in life,
Okay.
someone who values craftsmanship and artistry,
Right.
but who also has that need for speed,
Yeah.
that desire to push the limits.
So not just someone who's going to keep it locked away in a garage.
No.
This is someone who wants to experience the car,
Exactly.
to feel the power,
Yes.
to connect with the machine on a visceral level.
Absolutely. I think the Utopia owner understands this car is more than just transport.
Yeah.
It's a statement,
Right.
an extension of their personality,
Mm-hmm.
a reflection of their passions.
It's like a wearable work of art.
Exactly. You know, speaking of art, there's this one last thought I want to leave you with.
Okay.
Imagine you're in a museum.
Okay.
You're looking at a sculpture by Michelangelo
Yeah.
or a painting by Da Vinci.
Right.
You feel this sense of awe,
Yeah.
wonder,
I get it.
appreciation for the skill and the artistry that went into creating this masterpiece.
I can totally picture it.
Now imagine that same feeling, but instead of being in a museum,
Yeah.
you're behind the wheel of a Pagani Utopia.
Oh, wow.
Feeling the power of that engine, the precision of the handling, the beauty of the design, all coming together to create this experience that's both thrilling and transcendent.
That's a powerful image.
It is.
It's like the Utopia is blurring the lines between art and engineering.
Yes.
Between the physical and the emotional.
And that's what makes it so special. It's a car that engages not just your senses, but your soul.
Well said. I think that's the perfect note to end on. We've covered so much in this deep dive into the Pagani Utopia.
We have.
But at the end of the day, it's a car that defies easy categories.
It does.
It's a masterpiece of engineering, a work of art, a symbol of passion,
Mm-hmm.
a glimpse into the future of car design.
It reminds us that even in a world that can feel cold and technological, there's still room for beauty, for soul,
Yeah.
for that pursuit of perfection.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll both get to experience that perfection firsthand. But for now, we'll just have to be content knowing that cars like the Utopia exist,
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah. Inspiring us to dream bigger?
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep that passion for the automotive world alive.